What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. So today, the hidden meanings behind Kendrick Lamar We Cry Together short film. Personally, this short film describes how I hear people in apartment complexes, how I hear like us new couples out here. Couples between the ages of 19 all the way to 28. They be acting like this, I be hearing. And it's crazy. We argue, we do all this toxic shit, and then at the end we just have make up sex and forget about it. We don't really get deep to the root of the problems and really try to get therapy, or just to talk it all the way out. We yelling at each other. Yelling is ignorant to me. I don't believe in yelling when you're in an argument. I believe in y'all talk your ideas out until y'all resolve the problem. That's my personal opinion. But let's get into this video. Y'all be sure to like, subscribe, and let's tell Atlanta Boy Soul Full of Life.
This visual zooms out into a set, the spoken monologues from Baby Keem and Kodak Black, the use of the Shakespearean meter iambic pentameter,
come with favors and you can't say no.
The omniscient chorus that gives us context on Kendrick's mind state like they used to have in ancient Greek epics. Even the tapping sounds of the big steppers on stage with him littered throughout the intros and outros of the tracks. So then We Cry Together is the climax of this play's first act. A relapse into toxicity during Kendrick's journey of healing and reflection. It's a dialogue brought to life by the latest visual for this album, between a couple whose back and forth argument is mirrored in the dissonance and uneasy back and forth wobble of the backing piano, the chordal and quintal harmonies, fourth and fifth chords that our minds associate with ambiguity and instability, fitting perfectly under this fight played out by Kendrick and actress Taylour Paige, a musical fight with the refrain inspired by poetic justice.
Fucking lame.
You know what? Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you, nigga.
Nah.
Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you.
Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I'ma get into how the video itself adds deeper meaning to the track through its choreography, its one-take continuous style cinematography, and the framing of the two characters in the various scenes. But first, let's take a look at the meaning of the lyrics and how the song fits into the themes of the album.
Curious.
Their fight touches on all the aspects of a toxic relationship, all the issues each gender has with the other.
You dirty and you broke.
Oh, you goofy and gunnable.
But begins to clearly be about more than just this couple.
See, you the reason why strong women fucked up. Why they say it's a man's world. See, you the reason for Trump.
In the album version, Whitney, Kendrick's ex-partner and one of the album's narrators, is heard at the start saying, "This is what the world sounds like."
This is what the world sounds like.
These toxic dynamics reflect exactly how traumatized people hurt each other. Both genders cope with their oppression by attacking the other. Their trauma ends up being taken out on their partner when it's not understood and processed. Despite all the things we can't stand about the other gender, we need each other. We live with this burden by crying together. It's more for our own therapy than to actually hurt our partner, no matter how aggressive it gets.
Nah, in a land where hurt people hurt more people. Fuck calling it culture.
Hurt people hurt people. Both sides are traumatized. Both sides are expressing the pain of their past by
Not gonna lie to you, because I didn't have the full love of a mom, it made me not at first say fuck women. They're only used for sexual objects. I don't give a fuck about no woman's feelings. I'm listening to Jay-Z, Hard Cold Like Assassin. Like, that's why I listen to, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck a woman. I don't need that shit. The older I got, I realized, nah, just because my mama didn't love me a certain way doesn't mean I can't love a certain way when it comes to a lady that I like and a lady that I care about. So the older I got, I'm like, fuck it. Let me just find someone that's for me. Let me not just use women just for their body parts and for a quick bust, because it gets old. But everybody, like he said on this album, everybody heals different. Everybody grieves different, I mean.
By taking it out on another person through anger. And this is how a whole society will function when people don't end the cycle of trauma that's being passed down. A process of identifying and letting go of one's individual pain body, a concept developed by the spiritual center of this album, Eckhart Tolle, who I get more in depth on in my full-length breakdown of the album down below. The fight gets larger in scope by the second verse and begins to reflect a larger struggle for power, control, and justice between men and women, socially and culturally, in entertainment.
You the reason Harvey Weinstein had to see his his conclusion.
In politics, even in music.
You the reason R. Kelly can recognize that he's abusive.
Later in the album, R. Kelly is actually mentioned again when Kendrick's pondering if he would have done what he did if he wasn't abused as a child.
I think about Robert Kelly. If he won't molested, I wonder he'll fight for Felly.
He's not giving him an excuse for his actions, but he's showing the extreme dangers of letting trauma get passed down from generation to generation unchecked. You can view this song as about your own relationship, as about inequality in the workplace. You could apply it to the SpongeBob cinematic universe.
Fuck you, spongy, you love a greasy patty. I won't eat up. Always
Nigga,
act
you
like
don't
a
shut
food
this shit up, bro. What the fuck? Who did this bullshit, bro? Who did this bullshit, bro? Who did this bullshit, man? This come on now.
Sting motherfucker, grow up.
You can even apply it to Kendrick's relationship with rap music and his community, which gives double meaning to Taylor's line about Kendrick's cousin.
I'd rather fuck on your cousin.
Kendrick disappeared from his audience for so long that fans switched over to listening to his cousin instead. He uses the broadening of the song's subject matter to show that this toxicity is most important to heal on the domestic level, beginning within individual relationships, because the sum of all the individual toxic relationships is what creates the larger social issues that plague culture. A lot of this album is Kendrick becoming self-aware about the roots of a lot of the issues he perceives in society as consequences of the mistakes he himself is guilty of when it comes to those closest to him, his family. And at the same time, a lot of the trauma that led to that behavior and the continuation of the cycle was passed down to him from his family. What's revealed at the end is that what both sides really want, the natural state of our relationship with the other gender, an entire group of people that we go as far as to hate. Before the fight even starts, Kendrick and Taylor are in separate rooms. Their arguing only brings them physically closer together. The framing of them in the most heated parts of their argument is identical to when they realize they are so attracted to each other, need each other so much, that they have to have sex right then and there. Both sides attacked each other just to cope with what they were going through. The fighting just helped them both get out the emotions that they had bottled up. And when words couldn't capture how deep that conflict goes, the intimacy that followed was the only way forward. The words of the refrain are repeated but now have completely different meaning. The dynamics of the fight, of the tension between the genders, they continue even throughout what happens next, in an even more passionate way. People don't want toxicity and separation naturally. They just play along with it because it's the only way they know how to express emotion that raw and deep. They're feeding their pain bodies, reacting to their own lives in a way that makes sense based on how the traumas of their past played out. The arguments and abuse between their parents. They think it's the only way to live. They think if it was done to them, it has to continue to others. People desire that unity at the end either way, because what they really want is healing and comfort. But as long as the verbal violence, the contempt can happen in unison, it ends up providing that comfort anyway. They both cry, but at least they cry together. In the album version, Whitney ends the song by urging us and urging Kendrick to stop tap dancing around the conversation.
Stop tap dancing around the conversation.
To stop stepping uneasily like the piano throughout the track. Step with purpose and consistent intention, like the steps heard at the end of the song. Step straight to the point to achieve real healing and unity. Kendrick is in this therapy session talking about all these issues with society. Here Whitney's telling him to get to the point already. Talk about what's wrong within himself. It's like we all feel like we have to play the game of life by rules that lead to harm to others, to make ourselves feel better. But what truly brings us happiness is being more and more at peace with ourselves, with the goal of bringing that peace to those that need healing around you.
Can I hear me a little bit louder?
This was deep. I could say being a young man in this day and age, a young black man, I see the toxic behaviors from females and males. The males are cold-hearted because their mom didn't love them like that. They have, hell, even been molested. They had to grow cold-hearted. All these handful of reasons why they went cold-hearted. The females, I see, they got their hearts broken. Their dad wasn't around, so the first man in their life wasn't even there to at least try to show them any ounce of love. And because of that, they end up, from what I see, they end up getting with the wrong men, or trying to look for a dad in the wrong man. And you don't supposed to be looking for no dad and no man. You already have a dad. You should look for a man and a man, a young man at that, because we all around the same age. But I see it. They're like, fuck men, they ain't shit. I'ma just make my money and grow old. I don't give a fuck. I don't need no man in my life. I can just use them as toys. I don't say nothing. I just hear it. You know, when I go to car shows, when I do all types of stuff, I be hearing them talk like this, and I'm like, damn, why they doing that? Why they talking like that? There's a lot of healing. I see it. My people, because it's always been my people. That's all I say. I don't see white folks doing this shit. I ain't saying they not out there, but I only see black people from the rich side of town all the way to the poor side of town talking like this, and it's like young men and women my age all the way to like 28 talking like this, and it's fucking crazy. It's crazier than a motherfucker. But that's the culture, right? Mario the poet.